Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, is accused of stealing $41,000 of taxpayer money for luxury vacations. President Trump ends funding for NPR. China is hurting big time but won't admit it. And Tulsi Gabbard says she hasn't ruled out running for president in 2028. I've got a lot of big news stories to share with you today. Let's jump into the news. President Trump has signed an executive order to cut federal funding for PBS and NPR, accusing both of biased reporting. In a social media post announcing the signing, the White House said the outlets receive millions from taxpayers to spread radical, woke propaganda disguised as news. The order tells the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and federal agencies to stop giving subsidies following Trump's claim that the networks do not offer fair, balanced news. This follows a White House proposal to cut $9.1 billion from the budget, which includes defunding CPB, though that still needs to be approved by Congress. NPR and PBS reach millions each week, but get only a small portion of their funding from the government. About $120 million for NPR in 2025, less than 5% of its total budget, with most money coming from private donors. So this is just the government saying, listen, you guys are allowed to be a propaganda machine. You just can't do it with taxpayer money. Why should Republican taxes go towards liberal media? Now, speaking of money, later in this video, I'll tell you about how you could win up to $93,000 around the 4th of July. Even with the ongoing rivalry between mainstream media and President Trump, there are still some voices working to highlight and share positive stories about him. For instance, Dr. Phil had some very nice things to say about President Trump. Let me bring that up on the screen and we will watch it together.
Mr. President, I can't tell you, first off, how proud I am to see religion coming back to the White House. God bless you. God bless you for doing this. And let me tell you, it's not a popular thing to do in America right now. And Speaker Johnson is here, and you know he's a man of religion. But you know, I've sat with President Trump with no cameras around, nobody listening, nobody watching. And I'm telling you, this is a man of deep faith, a man of deep conviction. And this is a man that wants this country to have a heart and have religion. And God bless America for giving us President Donald Trump. And when nobody's listening and nobody's looking, this man cares about every single person in America, independent of race, color, creed, whatever. And it comes from the heart with him. And I am proud to call him my president. And God bless you, Mr. President. God bless you.
Wow, isn't that wonderful? Just absolutely incredible. When the cameras aren't rolling, when nobody's looking, this guy has deep faith in God, and he also cares about every single American. So cool. Now, to support what Dr. Phil just said, let's look at what President Trump posted on Truth Social. He's about to make a big change, and I think it's actually going to be really great. So let me pull that up. Many of our allies and friends are celebrating May 8th as Victory Day, but we did more than any other country by far in producing a victorious result on World War II. I am hereby renaming May 8th as Victory Day for World War II and November 11th as Victory Day for World War I. We won both wars. Nobody was close to us in terms of strength, bravery, or military brilliance, but we never celebrate anything. That's because we don't have leaders anymore that know how to do so. We are going to start celebrating our victories again. Now, this likely comes from the fact that Russia on May 8th is preparing to celebrate their takedown of Adolf Hitler. America played a huge role in freeing the Jews and other Europeans during the end of World War II. We also played a huge role in putting pressure on and taking out the Nazis and destroying the bad part of Germany. We then helped to rebuild Germany and a lot of Europe. So he's saying, why aren't we celebrating this? Well, we are going to be celebrating it going forward. It looks like the Democrats may face a tough challenge in the next election, especially with strong contenders emerging for 2028. For example, in an interview with Megyn Kelly, DNI Tulsi Gabbard, also a former congresswoman, said that she has not ruled out running for president in 2028. Now, a lot of people assume that President Trump will just tap JD Vance on the shoulder and say, "You've been a great MAGA warrior. You get the tip of the hat. You get the nod, right? You get my endorsement." But I think Trump right now, he's being cautious. Number one, is he going to run for a third term? I don't know. That's going to be challenged legally. Is he going to make himself vice president or speaker of the House? I don't know. He might just want to retire and be very happy with the years that he gave our country. However, Tulsi Gabbard said, "I will never rule out any opportunity to serve my country. My decision in my life have always been made around how I can best be of service to God, how I can best be of service to our country. And that is what has led me here. I am grateful for this opportunity, and I will continue to chase those opportunities where I can to make the most positive impact and be of service." Now, let me know in the comments, would you be interested in Tulsi Gabbard being the first woman president of the United States? I think she'd be great. And Roger Stone said on my show, you heard it from me first, Tulsi Gabbard will be the first president that is a woman of these United States. So we'll see. Again, I like JD Vance. I like Byron Donalds. I like Vivek Ramaswamy, but I really like Tulsi Gabbard. Now, when she ran, she only got about 2% of the vote, but she was running against President Trump. Everybody had low numbers. So I think if Trump is out of the equation, her numbers go way up. Ron DeSantis won't be in there. I think it could come down to her and JD Vance, and whoever Trump taps as his replacement, that's the person that I think is going to win. Now, every poll, again, showed her as low, but she was competing against Donald Trump. All right, now listen up, because there's something big coming this 4th of July, and then I want to tell you about some new dirt on Letitia James. She's being accused of stealing $41,000. Everyone loves the thrill of playing for a big prize, and in crypto, prizes don't get any bigger than the OG, Bitcoin. Play Crypto.com's Freedom Jackpot from today to July 4th, and you might just land a Bitcoin payout. Each time you trade $50 worth of any token in the Crypto.com app, you earn a chance to win the jackpot. The more trades you make, the higher your chances of winning. Easy, right? And with over 400 coins to choose from in the app, you won't run out of plays anytime soon. Trades made through the app's crypto basket and recurring buy features count the same. So don't worry if you're diversifying your portfolio or just want to schedule some purchases. Now, the Freedom Jackpot's available across the US, so everyone's got a shot at winning one Bitcoin. Sign up through Crypto.com through my link below, and you'll automatically join this limited time event. Don't lose this opportunity to get into crypto with a huge bonus. Isn't that awesome? Crypto.com, they sponsor me. They sponsor Rumble. They sponsor the Lakers. They sponsor UFC with Dana White and all of the big fighters. So this is a really huge opportunity to potentially win a Bitcoin, which right now is trading at over $93,000 a coin. All right, I've got some new receipts on New York Attorney General Letitia James. They are alleging through the receipts that they were able to collect that she has stolen $41,000 of taxpayer money to travel on vacation using luxury private jets. Wait a minute. Isn't Bernie Sanders and AOC doing this right now? So Letitia James has a criminal referral against her for mortgage fraud, changing property values to get better lending terms, a primary residence in Virginia that actually, but actually she lives in New York. She also said that she has a smaller rental unit in order to get a better loan. Now she's claiming it's all political revenge driven by Donald Trump, even though President Trump to this point has had zero part in the criminal referral or the AFL, the America First League, which this week filed a complaint with the New York State Bar saying that Miss James shouldn't be allowed to practice law if she committed mortgage, real estate, and lending fraud. So the investigator that is leading the charge, it's not Donald Trump, it's Sam Antar, a lead private investigator. He's gathered up all of these documents from her run for attorney general. In these documents, he has the receipts showing that Letitia James used taxpayer money on at least 5 trips to go on vacation in a luxury private jet. This sounds like the Fonnie Willis scheme down in Georgia. She even flew to Puerto Rico, but claimed it was for campaigning to be attorney general. Now, I know that New York has a lot of Puerto Ricans, but shouldn't she be campaigning for their vote in New York and not on the island of enchantment? She also flew to Martha's Vineyard multiple times on taxpayer dime. The jet company is Venture Jets, Inc. Now, don't blame them. It's Letitia James that is in the wrong here. Now, her lawyer is saying everything that she has done is above board. They're going to be able to prove this, that these receipts mean nothing, and that this is just a political hit job ordered by Donald J. Trump. So I'll keep you in the loop on this, but basically she was using taxpayer money to fund luxury jet vacations. Now she's saying that this whole thing is political warfare by Donald Trump. Therefore, the office of AG is under attack, not Letitia James as a person. And now she's using taxpayer money once again to pay for all of her legal bills. Oh, gosh. If I was in New York, I would be furious. This lady just lies and lies and lies. All right, now there's a big shakeup at HHS with RFK Jr. U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced a new policy requiring all new vaccines to undergo placebo-controlled trials before being approved. Wow. This should set off some alarm bells. Did you know that the current vaccines were never tested against placebo? So we don't even really know the efficacy of these vaccine programs. So he's saying going forward, anyone that wants to go to market, you now have to go through those trials. So I didn't know that. I assumed all the vaccines had gone through placebo trials, but according to him, they haven't. Now, the Department of HHS says the change is meant to bring more transparency. Experts are concerned it could slow down the availability of vaccines and bring up ethical issues. While new vaccines usually go through these trials, updates to existing ones often don't, since it's seen as unethical to hold back a vaccine. So they don't have to do the ethical thing of testing it against a placebo group, but they're saying it's unethical to slow down a vaccine that hasn't been tested. Try to wrap your mind around that. I think that this is Big Pharma trying to skip steps since they have full shielded liability from the federal government. Vaccine experts warn that this extra cost and complexity could slow down the development of life-saving vaccines. I'll let you guys decide what you think, but I didn't know that they weren't being tested, and I do want them to be tested if something's going to be jammed into my body. All right, in some international news, China is in big trouble. They don't say that they are, but they are. A spokesperson from China's Commerce Ministry said today, the United States recently sent multiple messages to China through relevant parties, hoping to start talks with China. China is currently evaluating this. The tariff and trade war was unilaterally initiated by the United States. And if it wants to negotiate, it must demonstrate genuine sincerity. That includes being prepared to correct its wrongdoings and cancel its unilateral tariff hikes. China's position remains consistent. If it's a fight, we will see it through to the end. If it's talks, the door is open. We all know that President Trump is not going to change his mind on tariffs. And from what I'm reading, China is hurting big time. Hundreds of thousands of workers are out of work right now. Factory owners are panicking as they don't have orders coming in. Apple just announced that they will shift 100% of their iPhone production to India, where they can still bring the iPhone to market at a fair price, but with a preferred United States trade partner. This is definitely a big hit to China, and I will continue to keep you guys in the loop. All right, thank you guys so much for stopping by. What do you guys think? Should Letitia James be using taxpayer money to pay for her mortgage fraud investigation? Should she have used taxpayer money to go on vacation multiple times to Martha's Vineyard? Or how about to campaign in Puerto Rico? Come on. Puerto Ricans can't even vote in New York unless they're a resident of New York. But New York doesn't care. For heaven's sakes, they've been trying to let illegals vote in American elections for many, many years now. And it wouldn't shock me if many illegals already had. All right, check out the crypto.com link down below. You guys go sign up if you're interested in crypto. You can learn a lot there. You can also get your name entered many, many times in order to try to win a Bitcoin, which right now is trading over $93,000. All right, I love you guys. Stay amazing, and I will see you on the next video.